So, hi everybody, I thought I'd give you guys a follow-up on last week's video, which was kind of what you could do if you're facing a lawsuit. Again, I'm not an expert in this, but I thought this information kind of went hand in hand with the other. Um, Today's video is going to deal with how to file a complaint. I know that there are times where you may have to file a complaint against a business or a service or anything of that nature. So I thought I'd try to give you guys some places or resources where you can file your complaint. Most of these are within the US. It may vary depending on where you live, but let's get to it. I am adding timestamps to try to make this as easy for you guys to navigate as possible, because I know it probably will be slightly long. So let's go. So one of the easiest things you can do right away is, if you're having an issue with a service or a brand or anything of that nature, is you can contact the company directly. Most do have support either by phone or internet or email or anything like that, and you can go from there. If this doesn't help, there are other options, and I will get into those in just a second. When contacting a brand doesn't necessarily work, you can also have online options, like, for example, using a review site. I will say that if you do use a review site, you will need to read their guidelines, because some do have strict guidelines in terms of posting reviews for websites, but you could still post your information there. You can also ask any online group of friends that you have about particular companies, if anybody else has experienced any issues with them as well. So you can kind of use your resources that way. You can even reach out on social media too, if that is an option. So that may be something else you can do before you take any other action. If your previous actions don't work, you can actually search for your state and search for your Attorney General's office. The state of California actually has basically like a Consumer Protection Affairs Department. I think most states do, but you will have to search for your particular state to learn more information about what you can do. And I'll show you what the California Consumer Affairs Department looks like. Just a second. Just to show you what the California Consumer Affairs complaint form looks like. So they actually give you your businesses or a professional that you can file your complaint against. If none of this is what you're looking for, they actually have a separate form as well. Again, each state's a little different, so you'll have to search by your state, but they do offer a fair amount of information if you live in the state of California. So moving on. So if you don't necessarily feel that you need to file a complaint with your Attorney General's office, or maybe it's something that really you don't think qualifies for the Consumer Protection or Consumer Affairs Department of your state, you can always file with the Better Business Bureau. I've filed a few complaints about junk mail in the past, but they do offer a wide variety of things that you can file a complaint for. You will need to provide as much information to them as possible about the company, or, for example, like when I was getting a lot of junk mail, I provided all of the mailing information from that particular company. But you also have to remember that the BBB is accredited, but not all companies are accredited by the BBB. So it kind of varies. You can still file a complaint and they'll still contact them for you. But sometimes it just depends on what company is listed through their services. So you kind of have to pick and choose what they have or what is listed. So let me show you what their complaint form looks like. So this is what the BBB's homepage looks like. So you would, of course, add your own city, but you can look up by a business, a charity, categories, things of that nature. So you would type in what you're looking for here in this box, and then your city or your state or your zip code if you're looking for an actual business. And whatever the results are is what comes up. So basically, you can also file a complaint, and you can also see your review process when you file a complaint or write a review on a business. So I found a lot of interesting things when searching for businesses. So when you file a complaint, this is the page that comes up, but you do have to remember that the Better Business Bureau only handles certain things. They don't handle like inter-office disputes. They don't handle government agency complaints, things like that. But again, as I mentioned, the more information you can give the BBB, the better. In terms of how long it takes for them to respond back, it may vary, but they do give you a reference number so you can log back into your account and check to see what's been handled, and to see if the company replied back to whatever your issue is that you're asking to be resolved. So the Federal Trade Commission is very similar to the Better Business Bureau. They are a government agency, but they do handle a bit more. So you can complain for a variety of different things, especially they do a lot for various consumer agencies or consumer complaints. So you can actually file if you've been scammed, or if you think something might be a identity theft or fraud, things like that. I recently filed a FTC complaint against a company because I thought they were a scam. So you can file complaints for a couple different options, and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is what the FTC's complaint assistant looks like. So as you can see, it gives you options for, rip-off scams, telephone scams, things of that nature. And again, they give you a couple different resources as well. I will say that the FTC is very much like the Better Business Bureau. As much information as you can give them, the better. And they also do give you a follow-up email when your complaint is submitted, and they give you a specialty code for your particular complaint. So you can log in to see if your complaint has been processed. So there are a few other resources you can look into as well, and I will show those to you right now. There are a couple different resources you can look into, such as USA.gov. Basically, this just kind of gives you a little overview on where you may need to start, or what you can find in terms of what may work for you in terms of your complaint. So again, it gives you the Attorney General's office, stuff like that. Another one is econsumer.gov. I'm not too familiar with this one, but this one does offer consumer complaints for up to 35 agencies around the world. So this one may be worldwide or in particular parts of the world. So this one, it could include international business. This one on this list would be more of a financial aspect. So if you live in the United States, you can file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So this would basically mean if you've been scammed by a bank, or you receive some sort of unsolicited financial mailer, or an unsolicited debit card like I was sent last year, you can file a complaint and they handle the complaint for you. Again, complaint time or processing time may vary, but they're very much like the Better Business Bureau. They ask you what you received. You can, if I remember correctly, you can even attach information to your complaint. Like in terms of a scanned document or anything like that. But it was very helpful, and they resolved the issue very quickly. So on to my final thought. So I've added all the information for all of the websites that I shared in the description below, and I hope you guys found this helpful. So I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.